morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at Coalossal VMAX. We didn't know if we were getting a Coalossal VMAX or not. We did look at Coalossal the other day, and my video about Coalossal, I literally put as the headline, what is the point of Coalossal V? I gave it about the most negative review I've given any Pokemon V we've seen so far, and I told you that it was basically an objectively worse version of Regirock V or Sandaconda V, and I said that there was literally no reason to play it over either of those cards. Well, little did I know, ladies and gentlemen, there was and is a reason to play Coalossal V, and that reason is Coalossal VMAX, because I tell you what, this has good stuff that the other fighting Vs just don't. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, one of our very, very favourite people over here. And if we start off having a little bit of a look at the basics, we can see 330 HP, which is not quite as high as Snorlax VMAX at 340, but it is extremely close to the highest HP we've seen on any Pokemon VMAX. It is a very big boy. And you've got a retreat cost of 4, which means you can use buff padding to get yourself an extra 50 HP and become even bigger and even badder, which is quite nice. We then see a weakness to grass, which is honestly not a big deal. Rillaboom decks are there on the fringes, but they're really not proving to be particularly good right now. And basically, you're just not being hit for weakness, which is awesome. And you're a fighting Pokemon. Fighting Pokemon means weakness on Pikachu and Zekrom, which is really good. It means weakness on Vikavolt V, which is really good. It means weakness on Eternatus VMAX, which is really good. You see where I'm going with this, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very good thing. Not to mention Martial Arts Dojo to do extra damage, 10 if you're not behind on prizes, 40 if you are. And Karate Belt to reduce your attack cost by 1 fighting energy if you're behind on prizes, and suffice it to say that it is a very nice time to be a fighting Pokemon in the Pokemon trading card game. But what does it do? Well, the first attack, according to the lovely Antoine Boulet, for a single fighting energy, does 40 damage, which is not particularly good. But wait, there's more. You discard the top card of your deck. If that card was an energy, you do 90 more damage and attach that energy to this Pokemon. And make no mistake about it, this attack makes this Pokemon phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Because here's the thing, right? This is the same first attack in a roundabout way as we see on Torkoal V. Now, Torkoal V has not proven to be a particularly powerhouse Pokemon, but it is still the same kind of attack. Torkoal V, free energy, 90 damage, discard the top card of your deck. If it's a fire energy, you do 180 damage. Well, there are several reasons why Coalossal's attack here is better than Torkoal's. Reason number 1, it's a single energy. I know that Torkoal can use Welder and then attach for the turn, but that's still a supporter and free energy you need, rather than just an energy. Reason number 2, Torkoal needs you to have a fire energy on top of your deck. This needs you to have an energy. And you know Antoine's translation is right here, partly because Antoine's translations are just generally right. And secondly, because you can see there's no energy symbol in the text of the card here, in text of the attack. And thirdly, you attach the energy as well. So now you're accelerating energy rather than just doing extra damage. Oh yeah, and the numbers here work perfectly. But before we get to the numbers, do bear in mind that we've got Torkoal to work, we'll get this to work. The best option we've got here, honestly, is the Oranguru from Sword and Shield. Lets you swap a card in your hand with the top card of your deck. So if you've got an energy card in hand, bearing in mind you can use something like Viridian Forest, or you can use Energy Spinner, or you can use Guzma and Haller if you want to get yourself a special energy. It's really not that difficult to get an energy nowadays. And then you just use Oranguru, and not only do you guarantee an energy on top of your deck, that's a good thing, you also get to draw a card, which is awesome. And it's a basic Pokemon, so you draw a card while guaranteeing an energy on the top of your deck. At the moment, we do still have Magcargo that lets you search your deck for any card and put it on top of your deck, which is better, even though it's a stage 1, it is better than Oranguru, so you can search whatever energy you want, even if you're playing one random tech weakness card energy, for instance, put it on top of your deck, and then you attach it using this. It's awesome, but do bear in mind Magcargo is rotating out. You'll still have it in expanded, and that's lovely, but there is something that is genuinely sad to me, that you're not able to use Magcargo, search for something like a weakness card energy, put it on top of your deck, and then do 130 damage while attaching the weakness guard energy. And the translation we've got from Antoine does say energy, not basic energy. So this is redonkulous. But now it's probably time to talk about the damage. Now, if you're doing 130, double with weakness, that is 260. So there goes Pikachu and Zekrom, nice and easily. If they put a big charm on, you'll be 10 damage short, but come on, use Vitality Band. Or Martial Arts Dojo, even if you're not behind on prizes. You can even use a Galarian Zigzagoon if you want to be a little bit different. Point is, you ain't going to struggle to do that extra damage. So that's cool. And then obviously Eternatus V, not the VMAX, just the V, which has lower HP than Pikachu and Zekrom. That is going down. That is a good thing. So that sounds kind of cool. And of course, Vikavolt will go down in the same way. So for a single energy, you're getting all of those Pokemon. That's a bit redonk. What about Eternatus VMAX? They've got 340 HP. That is the joint highest HP in the game right now. How will we cope? Well, we need to do 170 before we hit for weakness. Okay. Well, the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're behind on prizes, then Martial Arts Dojo means you hit exactly 170 damage. Well, will you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? Look how that worked out. Yeah, it's a single energy counter for Eternatus VMAX. Bearing in mind that Eternatus VMAX for 2 energy does 270 damage if they've got 8 Bench Darkness Pokemon. That's 60 HP away from getting a KO on Coalossal, which means they're just not one-hitting Coalossal. And you can be. And you can always go behind on prizes. I mean, the two we've got at the moment, we've got Miss Magius, lets you draw until you've got 7 cards in your hand. And we've got Magneton, that lets you search your deck for free supporters. And I know it's been a little while since we've talked about Magneton, but if you do want to talk about Magneton, please do remember that you can search for Lieutenant Surge's strategy and 2 other supporters, so you can essentially then play those 2 other supporters by virtue of Lieutenant Surge's strategy. So you can get some really fun stuff going on. Although again, the best option generally tends to be Miss Magius, because you can use Duststone to evolve a Miss Drevis into a Miss Magius the turn you play it. And that's why, even as good as Magneton looks, it's why Miss Magius does see play, and Magneton basically doesn't. But still, they're options, right? If you really need to be behind on prizes to get a one-hit KO on an Eternatus VMAX, you can do so, ladies and gentlemen. You can totally do so. This is redonk. I mean, if you're not hitting for weakness, you're basically one-hit KOing single prize Pokemon, 2-hit KOing 2 prize Pokemon, and 3-hit KOing 3 prize Pokemon, unless you're adding lots of damage. If you're behind on prizes and hitting 170, you are 2-hit KOing literally any Pokemon in the entire game. If you're not, VMAXs you'll generally be 3-hit KOing, but if you're not behind on prizes, it's just not that bad. Like, you might be not behind on prizes and go, ah man, now I'm not getting a 1-hit KO on Eternatus VMAX, but if you're not behind on prizes, do you really need to? Now, there is a second attack here, but there's a reason why we're so far into the video and haven't mentioned it. Free fighting, 1 colorless energy, 240 damage. And look, 240 will get any Pokemon V other than Steelix and Wailord. They still do sit there with a ridiculous amount of damage. Although if you're behind on prizes with Martial Arts Dojo, you will even get a 1-hit KO on a Wailord V. And you'll get pretty much any Pokemon GX. And you'll get the weaker tag teams, but you're still not getting VMAXs. To be fair, if you are behind on prizes with Martial Arts Dojo, you will get Arceus and Alga and Palkia, which is the biggest relevant tag team, although they're not going to take a prize before they use their GX attack. So this is one of those situations where putting yourself behind on prizes to activate Martial Arts Dojo will be a very, very big deal. Generally speaking, this is just too expensive. If you're using the non-GX Coalossal or non-V, and I don't really see why you would be here, but if you are, then you attack with the first attack, attach an energy, and then you use Coalossal's ability to attach a fire and a fighting, because there is one colourless energy in the attack cost, and that at least does mean that you can pay the attack without having to attach an energy the following turn. But even as much as I like the damage, I'm not loving it. I think you play this for the first attack. And I'm not saying you won't ever use a second attack. I'm sure there'll be times that you do. But I'm saying the second attack is not the reason to play this card. There will be times where using the first attack you get a bit of damage going, and then you go ahead and start using that second attack to smash something that isn't weak. But generally speaking, this fits a niche. And the niche is, hey, for a single energy, I one-hit KO all of these ridiculous Pokemon that are weak to fighting. That's kind of awesome. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, it is fantastic. I'm giving it between 4 and 5 Wassies. I really do. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. This strikes me as exactly the kind of Pokemon that people are going to go, well, you know what? It smashes all these fighting weak Pokemon, and it's definitely the best Pokemon V against them. I don't think that's even a remotely controversial statement. And for that reason alone, people are definitely going to play a lot of this card. I expect to see this card running around everywhere. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.